Hello, everybody. This is Cyberwolf, and welcome to another Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide. We are round 7, match 59, quarterfinal A, Boo versus
Woo!
Zen0bian. I am joined in the booth by the Schwans in Arusta. Hello, guys.
Yo, what is going on?
Ooh.
Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing tonight?
Oh, everybody's doing great. We're doing great. Now, we're coming to the end, unfortunately. It's been an exciting tournament. Probably one of the most active, most viewed set of matches and tournament-wide that we've had in our community.
Yeah.
So big thanks to the community for coming out and watching all these races and chipping in. It's been really, really great. But we are
Yeah.
coming to an end. Somebody's going to be crowned the winner.
Yeah, so we're in the lower bracket here with this match between Boo and Zen0bian. You know what that means? Loser leaves town. That's right. Whoever loses is out. Whoever wins advances to the semifinals or the lower bracket finals or whatever we decide to call it now. It gets kind of confusing with a double elimination tournament, right? So
Yeah.
that's what our bracket looks like. And as a programming note, Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, this very same channel, Taco Mage versus Drulith. That's going to be our other quarterfinal matchup for this particular round. And Saber Wolf, what are we working with this round? Which flag set are we going after?
Oh, we are running with the Yeti. It's Club Yeti, Yamaro's club. Stat adjustments are plus 10 strength to start the match off. Coliseum win, you get plus 30 strength, so that's 40 strength total. However, you get auto berserk, which means you have no control over your characters. They automatically just hit and smack things. There are ways around it between having a ribbon and a peace ring, so there are ways around it. Now, for the command set, there are 7 unique commands and 7 no commands, so there is a possibility where your character, when you get them, have absolutely no extra command set whatsoever. Command sets do include Possess, Capture, Runic, X-Magic, Sketch, and Control, which, that's not a big deal, honestly.
Yeah, most of them are kind of meh, aside from Possess, which is kind of game-breaking, right?
Yeah, it is. But Esper's bonuses are set to 100% regardless of what the bonus is going to be. And stats are 100 to 125%. So usually on these randomizers, there's a possible of a negative stat. Regardless, you either get vanilla or positive stats than usual. And no free characters or espers, also called no free lunch. So any of the free checks, like Gao's dad's house for the shadow check, there will be no character or esper there. That will automatically be an item.
Yeah, so that'll make some of our routing a little interesting, knowing that, certain checks cannot reward progression, especially as we're getting later on into the seed. If somebody's feeling behind, perhaps they're going to shy away from those free checks because they know it's not going to be anything to help them advance the seed. That also means ding dong, the auction house is dead. So all of you auction house haters will be enjoying that as well. So yeah, I'm expecting our runners to maybe go to World of Balance Narsh and take a trek up to the next screen and maybe peek what's in the Yeti Cave. It's always good to have knowledge of where your next character is, especially in this flag set. It's kind of gnarly the way it goes with 7 of our characters only having access to fight magic and item, and that auto berserk for Coliseum win here. Arusta, do you think we'll see some Coliseum here in this race?
Yeah, so that's interesting because I have not seen this race, of course, since we're about to start it, but I have watched and read about a bunch of people who had done their practices and running similar flag sets, and it seems like the consensus seems to be that plus 30 strength is extremely strong, and if you've got characters who already have no commands outside of fight and magic, it seems like a lot of people were thinking that the Coliseum would be a good idea if you have a couple peace rings, maybe around 2 characters who have peace rings so they can serve as your healers and back you up, and then 2 characters who just go nuts and start hitting like crazy.
Yeah, it gets a little bit more dicey with the final boss having multiple parts, and especially if you have a set order of operations of how to kill the final boss. I've been burnt on some practice seeds with a tier 1 quake or a 10 hit, or rather a quarter into 10 hits sort of situation. But hey, that's what Yetis do. They dab and they smash.
Oh, yes.
So we'll see how it gets on, Saber.
Yeti smash, Yeti throw. That's what we're going to do. So without further ado, let's get into this, shall we? It is once again Boo versus Zen0bian. Let's get it going.
Yeah, so we know we are going to start with Umaro, and Umaro with his vanilla command of just punching things and slamming things. We'll see who our other two characters are, and that'll sort of determine where we go as we are off and running.
I got you heard of Basset Hounds. We got Yeti, Terra, and Cyan.
Yeah, so Terra does have a special command. She has Rage. Neither one of the runners check the Rage list.
Well,
so,
if we're gonna rage, you're gonna rage even harder with Terra then.
I mean, yeah, Rage is the appropriate command for this flag set now, isn't it?
Oh, yes. And Cyan, which is interesting, he's actually got pretty decent vigor to begin with. So, not a bad character start, because both characters do have decent melee stats. Terra's not quite as good as Celeste. I'm always going to throw that in there, because my Celeste is my best girl. But, both of them are base melee characters, so...
Yeah, I was going to say, we did see Go-Go there in the hidey hole, and Zen0bian is just like, you know what? Forget looting. We're just going to go right to Kefka and Arsh right away.
Interesting.
This is a very interesting call. So we will definitely see before long what different rages are on Terra. I guess for this fight, you want to bring Yeti and Terra and leave Cyan.
Oh, nope, he's just peeking. He's just peeking under the covers, just seeing that there was an NPC merchant. So that tells him no character there, so we're just going to nope out that.
Yeah, the save right after landing probably should have given that away, but yeah, that's game knowledge sometimes is good. Hyper risk in that store, and a True Knight purchase, that's a very interesting relic play there. So True Knight is sort of like the opposite of Love Token-ish, right? It'll allow one of your own characters to take physical damage for a character that's in critical health. So very popular strat of that relic with a Valiant Knife, by keeping the Valiant Knife user at low health.
Yeah, and of course, Terra is going to have her treasure room. That's one benefit of starting with Terra, so we're going to go straight to Esper Mountain for this very heavy treasure room. Let's see what we get for items.
Yeah, starting off with Terra, this is a pretty easy choice here. After peeking, what's at the Yeti spot?
Atma weapon, it's not going to get online for a while, but that's good to have. Ooh, Genji glove is good.
Yeah, so we got a couple of, items that we could be useful if we get other stuff and then a bunch of junk. The junk will be good if we want to go to the Coliseum, though, because remember, one man's trash is another man's treasure, and Boo, knowing that the reward at the end of the cave to the sealed gate is just a high-tier item, says, you know what? I'm just going to take the money and run here, Saberwolf.
Yeah, he did this last week in his previous run where he just looted a bunch of places and then did an early Coliseum get for a very decent item, high-tier item, because there's a possibility of that. And just grabbing as many items as you can is going to increase the chances of getting good stuff. Now, the only problem with that, though, is, do you risk losing control of your party immediately at the beginning of this race or not?
Yeah, I think, what Arista said earlier, let's go see if we could find a relic shop with some ribbons or some peace rings. That's, I think, what our runners are going to be looking for. Maybe a little bit more shopping before they decide to do a Coliseum dip.
I would have grabbed the Tiger Mask there. Tiger Mask does increase the vigor, so it's going to make you hit even harder. I would have grabbed a couple of those. There's a very cheap damage increasing armor set.
Yeah. Oh, there's our peace ring.
Oh, there's a peace ring. Oh, but he didn't grab one.
Yeah, I think Boo is trying to hoard items at this point, maybe.
Yeah, just sell what he doesn't need afterwards.
Yeah. It's one of those things where when you have the Coliseum open, right, the more items you have, it's almost like the more lottery tickets that you have in order to transform it and to flip it into something else that's better. So unless it's like an item that he really, really needs, he's going to hold on to it as long as possible.
Arusta, I was hoping you were paying attention to the Zen0bian said that was a Mega Elixir.
I did see that, and that is a very good find. That's something you can take all the way to Final Kefka and bail yourself out if you get in trouble there with Fallen 1, especially with people auto attacking potentially, 2 to 4, depending on how much you go.
Yeah, so Boo is in Zen now. The Zen Thief in a no free characters and Espers flag set may have an Esper. That is an Esper, however.
Yeah.
that is a pretty pricey one.
A very pricey one at almost max cost there.
Yeah, so the it can be a different cost in the World of Ruin, but you don't know in the World of Ruin if it is an Esper or an item. The shiny stone indicator in the World of Balance lets us know that Zen Thief is selling an Esper there. Buying just a lot of junk. I think that's what Boo's mantra is. Let's just buy a lot of junk and more peace rings for Zen0bian. He finds them in the South Figaro World of Balance weapon shop. So we have our peace rings. So I think our strategy of, let's go see what's in the Coliseum here. Arista will get online pretty quickly.
Yeah, and then Magus hats aren't bad as well. Zen0bian bought 3 peace rings, so even if he finds and he's got a lot of options with what he wants to do with the Berserk because he's got the choices.
Yeah, and realistically, you're not going to sub out Yeti until you find a 5th character, perhaps, and it's going to be a while before we get a 5th character, right? So come back to that peace ring a little bit later on there.
But do you sub out Yeti with how hard he can smash with extra 40 strength and everything else?
Yeah, I guess it just depends on if you want it to go that way, right? If your strategy is going to be let's do this, then you're going to want to go all in.
Well, Boo did pick up a peace ring there in the relic shop in South Figaro World of Ruin, so both Figaros do have peace rings.
Yeah, and one other thing that was pointed out in chat is that rage rings were also available in that relic shop. I don't believe Boo bought one, but does know they're there, so if you decide to keep the Yeti long term, you've got that at least.
Peace rings all the rage? Is that what we're saying?
Yes, that's exactly that.
All right, it's all right. I'm not dying.
Hey, I was doing that. I was doing that before air, so it's okay.
The rage ring is great for Yeti. It will allow him to potentially throw your characters into the enemies, which sounds like it might hurt, but it's actually a pretty powerful thing. And it also gives Yeti fire absorption and lightning resistance. That, with his natural snow muffler, means that all 3 elements are covered for him.
And a very nice hero ring pickup that both our runners are going to get right now.
So I haven't seen the rages yet, so
I
would love to see a...
Wow, 2 of them right in a row.
Ooh. I would love to see a stray cat. Having just raging stray cat, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, so I'm assuming we're going to see here with Zen0bian taking off the peace ring. Let's see if I notice any good ones. Luridin is a pretty good one there. That is essentially Landslide, which is just a better version of Flare, so we'll see if he decides to pop that one out.
And there's that throw command.
Boo finding some cash money. Very nice. So yeah, if you don't have to sell your items because you find cash in a treasure chest, that's always very helpful.
Zen0bian gets some early levels here before they get to the Coliseum. Is that important to get a couple levels on your belt before you get to Coliseum?
Yeah, I would definitely agree here. And this is another rage. Latimera will do Magnitude 8, which is an Earth spell. It doesn't hit floating targets, but those sand horses aren't floating, even though seahorses swim. I don't know. I don't know what constitutes floating and what doesn't in this game. It's very strange sometimes.
Yeah, and Boo's showing off a nice bit of check there, pulling that snow muffler off Umaro and dumping it on Cyan, which is very nice for your controllable character. It's nice elemental resistances there.
And Boo also doing the extra little bit there, flying in the World of Balance to get to the Coliseum in the World of Ruin, because if you fly around the World of Ruin, there's a chance you get the Search the Skies check, which gets you into a boss. Level 3, probably don't want to fight a boss right now, so doing a smart thing, flying around the World of Balance to prevent that.
Seems unfair that Magnitude goes up to 8, but Fire, Bolt, and Ice top out at 3. I see what you did there, double down. All right.
Not seeing anything good.
A lot of junk.
It was Enhancer, but that was about it.
Yeah, we saw those in a shop.
Yeah.
So, not great stuff in the Coliseum. So, knowing that there isn't great stuff, maybe I come back to this later, right? If there's not a good reward that you're going to be taking to have that auto berserk come on your characters, then maybe it's not worth actually doing the Coliseum here. So, I like Boo dipping out of this.
Nobody really out in front right now. Zen0bian taking a moment to do some fights. That's why he's a little behind on the looting right now. But Boo going into a boss fight right now doing Cyan's leader check.
Yeah, so you can walk up to the soldiers that are badly trying to attack the castle. They took attack the castle literally here, and they're just running themselves into the castle. That guy all the way on the left, what is he doing? But you can come up to these soldiers, hit A on them, and say, "Fight me, bro," and they will. Yeah,
Redux, not exactly the experience we're looking for.
Yeah, but Assassin Instant Death proc is very nice there. Although these enemies are a pushover.
Yeah, they are what they look like, just little tiny mice.
These are one of the first enemies in the whole entire game, I believe. Alright, so we got some dried meat for Zen0bian in case we find Gal later. Ooh, wow.
Yeah, and Boo did find a dried meat somewhere. I saw it in his inventory when he was doing the Coliseum check. So if Gal's good, both runners are ready.
Yeah, we got about double their levels there. It's not bad.
No, certainly not terrible. Yeah, so even an extra grind fight or two at the very beginning of the game will put you leaps and bounds ahead. Meanwhile, Zen0bian is going to see how much that to Zen Thief costs in the World of Ruin. And it's still expensive, but cheaper.
Almost half price, but yeah.
Yeah. 38 Gs is a lot for now.
Metis goes up to 50. I don't know if that's you're making a Princess Bride reference for that or not, but...
So, Dirt Dragon has a move... Dirt Dragon has a move called 50 Gs, where if you are smart and are like, hey, I know how to counter an Earth Dragon, you just float, right? Because then he can't hit me. Well, the Dirt Dragon decides to put you back on the ground with a move called 50 Gs. So, there's 1,000 needles, 50 Gs, there's all sorts of crazy things.
50 Gs of force. Flying a jet, I'm just saying. Dinosaurs flying jets, there you go.
And I don't know if you guys noticed while Zen0bian was doing that check there, found an Atma weapon, which is very nice if you end up going the strength route.
Ooh, and we got a very easy fight with Ultros number 3 here. And the Zen0bian actually is going to go to Desperate Mountain, which we know is going to be a free check item, but there are more treasure chests to be found in there. So it could be doing a little more looting, so if you can find some good loot up here, it might be worth it.
Yeah, there are some 14, 15, 17, something treasure chests in here. There's a few that nobody ever gets. But
plus the hidden items on the ground, too.
Well, I mean, the hidden items you shouldn't get either. But there are instances where we'll get those items if, say, we're playing in a seed that doesn't have any shops, right? But in this particular case, I'm expecting to see him get most of the on-the-way chests and the high-tier item at the end of this here. Ooh, Economizer.
Economizer, there you go.
Yeah, so unfortunately, we don't have Sketch for this Ultros 3, but Ultros 3 is susceptible to stop, and there you go.
Well, this will make this match fight a lot easier now.
Yep. Yeah, so if we had Sketch, we could actually use the Sketch command and defeat Ultros 3 the vanilla way, but it's excluded for the Umaro flag set. This is not a character when we came out, so this will be either an Esper or a high-tier item, and it is our first Magicite for Boo. He's up on the board here.
Did you see that Rooster on Zen0bian side there?
I did not. I saw Odin has a level 2 spell, so not bad. I did not see what Zen0bian found.
Zen0bian found a second Appa weapon and a Hyper Wrist.
Yeah, that's also the third hero ring of the seed that we've found, and it's an imp at the end, no surprise. This is going to be a high tier item.
Marvel shoes.
Ugh. Okay, I thought it was going to be a high tier item, but it's just Marvel shoes.
Well, Marvel shoes give you, for those that don't know Marvel shoes give you basically a buff to all the gray spells. Gives you haste, it gives you chill, it gives you protection against magic, protection against against attacks. Just a lot of boosts. Stats.
Yeah, it'll cast haste, regen, shell, and
regen.
safe on you. Yeah, so it'll cast those 4 sort of status effects, but really it's just money.
Shout
I would like anything else, please, except for Marvel shoes.
Well, shout out to our commissioner in chat, Double Down. Marvel shoes are lovely on Berserk, folks.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather have any other relic that does damage increasing things. More damage, please. Thank you. All right, so it looks like Boo is heading up towards Kefka at Narsh here, or is he just peeking this?
Yep, there's going to see that go-go.
And Zen0bian, remember, he went... Oh, I forgot. We also have access to Welcome.
Oh.
That's Shadow.
Yeah, Zen0bian should have gone straight instead of taking a raid at Albuquerque, and we have another dabbing Yeti on screen.
Yeah, so also absolutely nothing in Coliseum here, really. Even with more treasure, Zen0bian did not find anything great, and he is going for the Berserk here. Uh-oh. Come on, Yeti, I believe. There it is. Speaking of Yeti, we have a Yeti fighting a Yeti on Boo's screen. Watch out now. Got some Sasquatch on Sasquatch violence here, Aroosta.
Yeah, and Terra looks to be taking some hits there.
Unfortunately,
you can't stop a Yeti.
Tomorrow, yeah, no. You cannot stop the dabbing Yeti. Alright, so it'll be interesting to see where Zen0bian goes next. And he's going to head right back to Narsh. So we're going to get another, a similar check here. I'm assuming he's going to get his shadow as well.
I want to remind folks that this match was actually played last night. This is a refeed. We are seeing this live for the first time for everybody.
Yeah, so what just happened there on Boo's screen was he tried to like heal Terra with a potion, but Terra was raging as an undead monster. So the potion actually killed Terra.
Whoops.
Whoopsie.
That's going to make the not top 10.
Oh, for sure.
But shout out to my co-commentator here, the Schwans. Does the quick highlights of all the matches of the week and highlights the positives and maybe the little silliness that happened in the races. Check that out at the beginning of the week.
So Zen0bian is playing Raid Shadow Legends. He's not even playing the game here. Just letting his characters do his own thing.
Yep, so just go take a bath and break, you know. It's been a good 18 minutes worth of run here.
Yeah. I mean, we started with some good weapons, right? We have a stunner, right? Because that's the thing that's doing the stop to, you know, the various characters.
Yeah, we got stunner, we got wing edge, but a lot of the big
Tiger
weapons we
fangs.
got was ammo weapons, but those don't really get online until like really the level 30, so...
Yeah, it's gonna be a while before we see Atma Weapon doing Atma Weapon things.
But double Atma Weapon Gigi Glove, I mean, that would be a thing on a raging character? Sounds pretty good to me.
Oh no, Terra, why are you healing the boss? Come on now. And here's the unfortunate thing about leaving your characters berserk is that Terra's not going to be able to get up.
But Zen0bian does get through his fight faster than Boo did.
Yeah, right here you can really see the difference in the power of that Berserk and the plus 30 strength is that Zen0bian started this fight at least a minute, maybe more after Boo did. And
That's a
finished
naked
off
shadow.
Yeah, so both of our runners picking up Shadow here. Unfortunately, no special commands on Shadow. So that'll mean that Shadow, who could naturally equip that stunner, will either be doing that or will be doing some magic casting all seed. Shadow's magic power is usually pretty decent. It's 39 here.
That's not bad.
So depending upon what we get on some of our espers, you know, that might make for a good time.
yeah, some interesting divergence here. You see Boo's clearly heading up to Kefka at Nar. Zen0bian looks like bailing out to check something else. We'll see which decision ends up being the good one here.
Yeah, Zen0bian picking up another high tier item here at Gal Manor.
Yeah, does not advance the difficulty of the seed at all. It just does not reward you with the character Esper, which is what we're looking for the unlock of Kefka.
Yeah, so there is Luridin on the rage list, which is Landslide, which is probably the one that I would be choosing most of the time. So even in the case like with Umaro, when we have, I think he had like the Ghost Rage, which made him undead. I think the Ghost Rage does fire too. A Landslide would do more damage than a fire 2, even against an enemy that's weak to fire.
No, I was talking about the item he got. It was a Magus Rod.
Oh. Yeah, that is kind of lame, actually.
That's what I meant. I was telling what you were saying was lame. I was just... Sorry.
It's alright. I'm used to being put down all the time, Saberwolf, so that's par for the course.
No, I appreciate you jumping in the last minute. Oh, God. Get out now. Smoke Bomb. Warpstone. Anything. Get us out of this fight.
Yeah, level magics will only reward MP and not XP. Boo, I think, was hoping to take some extra grind fights here because that battle did take a while. And you can also tell these soldiers fight me, bro.
Oh, too late on the walkthrough there. He's going to have to do the... He has to do the slow method.
Yeah.
Just sit in this left corner here, for those of you not used to this. You hit to the right there, wait for the character to run across the screen, but didn't wait. But it's not that bad of a fight.
Yeah, he's probably wants this for some levels here. Zen0bian healing the boss yet again. When you berserk with a rage user, they could pick any random rage. So that was probably Flash Rain, I think, was that animation. So that's why Ultros got healed. Ultros gets healed with water spells, and Flash Rain is a water and poison spell, even though it looks like a lightning spell. It's very strange. I don't know why I played this game. It's so weird. Anyway.
I will say that I'm a little disappointed that Boo did leave out Yeti, the mascot of this seed.
Yeah,
on the Kefka check.
Boo does not like Yeti very much, and he also doesn't like floating. He doesn't like floating continent very much. So we'll see if he puts that check off as well. Yeah, so Boo also learning the Prussian Rage, which is also the same as Luridin. It's Landslide. So we'll see if Boo actually uses it. Oh boy.
Toilet Atma.
Yeah, this might get dodgy here real fast. Speaking of dodgy, we're picking up Rust Rid from a really sketchy guy there. And we're going to do some Mount Zozo. You think Zen0bian takes on the dragon here, Arista?
I think there's probably a decent chance. Zen0bian's at a decent level, but not a super high one, so it would be good, because done a couple checks for high tier items, and they haven't really paid off, so...
I would like to learn Bolt 2 before doing it, though, because Bolt 2, there are 2 dragons weak to Bolt 2. So there'll be a 1 in 4 chance of getting a dragon that you cast a spell against very decently. Especially with having Terra in the party.
Yeah, and then the counter to that is he'll definitely learn Bolt 2 after the dragon fight.
Well, there's your Landslide trying to bring down Atma.
Yeah, so you see what I mean, 2,500 damage there. Early on in the seed, physical damage is not nearly as powerful as it is towards the end of the seed, whereas magic is much more powerful in the early parts of the seed, and the physical damage will eventually catch up and surpass it. That's just due to the damage calculation between physical and magical. Physical has your level in there twice, so it's basically level squared, whereas magic only has it in there once.
Ooh, Red Dargan.
And I'm done with math for the stream. Someone else, please help.
God. Well, Boo gets through that boss fight and is going to be rewarded with a Siren, which is a very good Esper.
Yeah, that's a really nice pickup, and I don't know if Zen0bian's going to go back and get it, knowing that he went all the way up there once to peak the Merchant Sprite reward.
Yeah, very true. There's our flag set once again, just to remind people of why Zen0bian not really having much control over his characters on the screen.
Yeah, it's like one of those mobile games that plays itself.
I was very fond of what's called Monster Squad. And there was a week in that game where I was the #1 player in the world, and I was actually competing with, believe it or not, of all people, Faker from League of Legends for that spot. Interesting. Minerva.
You absolute degenerate. Anyway, Minerva,
I'm just saying.
Minerva is great because Terra can naturally equip that, so that's a high tier item drop that we actually want. And
no. Old man swinging swords again for the 3rd week in a row.
We've almost got the family back together. We got Shadow and Strago. And Boo is going to be very happy, I think. I don't know what he's going to be about this Strago pickup. He will have a 1 Esper lead over Zen0bian because he went and did the Kefka and Arch check. Meanwhile, Zen0bian just took a look at it and said, "Nah, I'm good."
Vanilla Lord. Huh.
Yeah, one thing to note, though, and this was brought up in chat, is that while Zen0bian is going to be behind by an Esper, Zen0bian's party is doing quite a bit more damage per turn than Boo's is, getting through fights pretty quick. So that might make a difference if we don't see Boo go back to do that Coliseum at some point.
I also want to point out the fact that
plus 30 the nature of plus 30 strength, and while you're berserked, you also do more physical damage anyway. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to point out that how cute Yamaru looks. He's wearing a cat hood on Zen0bian's side. Just saying. I think a Yeti and cat ears must be amazing.
So do we call that a cat squatch? Anyway, we're going up to Fanatics Tower.
Man, you made spaghetti of that one.
Yeah, that's... you're welcome, chat. So there is a soldier sprite at the bottom.
Siren has Merton.
Oh, wow. That's a really nice thing if we get our Merton protection. I think we've only seen a Minerva and a Rage Ring, right?
Schwan, you started something in chat.
Wear the Rage Ring.
Yeah, but the Rage Rings are buyable, and I believe Zen0bian does know that, so maybe hoping he can buy a couple more and get a party that... Or excuse me, maybe Boo will hope that works.
Kurtzy, don't buy into the madness, please. Don't. Cat Squatchy Fever. Sasquatchy Fever.
So, the Rage Ring is normally only equipable by Umaro in the vanilla game, and in this flag set, it's a 33% chance that you could equip that relic. So we'll have to see which one of his other party members can do it. And hey, you were talking about Bolt 2, right?
I was talking about Bolt 2. This is one of the 2 dragons that's weak against Bolt 2. It's Bluey the Dragon.
And it looks like Zen0bian did put the Peace Ring on Terra. So we have 1 person in the party that's casting spells. Excuse me.
1600 is not bad.
Yeah, so in Fanatics Tower, you famously can only use magic unless you're berserked. So this is a nice time to come to Fanatics Tower. So Strago actually isn't as bad of a character as normal, because normally you're like, ugh, Fanatics Tower is terrible. But if you got Berserk, then it's fine.
It's also bad because of leg day, but hey.
Listen, I need to, rotate my thumb on the D-pad a few times just to relax. Unwind after work a little. Forget wine and cheese. I like doing Fanatics Tower to unwind for my day.
Fanatics Tower is good practice for doing... Oh, shoot. The Blitz there. Bone Rush. There we go.
There it is. Aura Lance from the Blue Durgan. So I don't think we've seen Dragoon Boots or a Horn or anything like that yet. But if we do, then that is the best spear in the game to use. It also could be just good as a weapon, right? We're using high battle power weapons when we have this much strength.
Hey.
And there's something else that'll teach some spells. And more importantly, 1 more piece of Merton protection. Although, like we mentioned, Zen0bian did not get Merton from Siren because he does not have Siren.
No.
All right, and unfortunately, this is a bit of a dragged-out cutscene. We'll see what the boss is here at the top. I'm surprised he put the Ice Shield on Shadow. I would have thought he would have put it on Terra, because you can learn Ice 2 with an Ice Shield equipped to your character.
Yeah, I thought so too. He was scrolling through everybody. Oh god, speaking of drag out knockout things, this is Piranhas.
Yeah, it's the perfect fight for a Berserk team.
Oh yeah, this will go by pretty quick since everybody's Berserk and they'll just hit random targets and instantly kill them. Since everybody's doing 1,000 damage apiece.
Yeah, go take a bathroom break here, Zen0bian. See you later.
Oh yeah. And Terra's just going to stand there and stand by waiting to cast Bolt 2 on the final Piranha.
Meanwhile, Boo is taking one of Cyan's checks. He forgot how to do this check, apparently. This is the Dome Castle and Cyan's dream.
Not going to get the other chest, though, before going to sleep, but he's going to go sleep now. And since we're doing the Cyan check here, do you want to mention the next flag set?
Oh, boy. Oh, gosh. What a segue. So, drum roll, please. Brrr. The next flag set is Cyan's Katana. So our semifinals matches, all 2 of them, will have to deal, or is it all one of it?
Just one match. Just one match. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Again, it's weird with the ladder style now.
So yeah, we're going to do Cyan's Katana.
Oh god,
that is a oh my goddess on the screen.
Much more difficult
for
than
a love token. So yeah, Cyan's Katana. We're going to start with Cyan with Sword Tech, which is pretty gnarly. We also get plus 10 strength, plus 5 stamina, and minus 5 magic power. So that's a bit of a womp womp. Coliseum win, you get an additional plus 20 strength. So it's kind of similar to this flag set where we are going to be dealing with physical offensive builds. If you do the Cyan's Dream all the way through, you learn all 8 sword techs, and since you start with Cyan with sword tech, that's going to be a pretty popular option, I believe. We are excluding tools because Cyan is a man that hates technology, similar to myself whenever I'm figuring out streaming issues. The big flashing lights of this flag set is the next thing here. Cyan, because he is so tormented, we decided that his flag set will feature permadeath. So what does that mean? That basically means that Phoenix Downs are not in shops or treasure chests. The healing buckets do not bring characters back to life. There are no life or life 2 spells. And Phoenix, the Esper summon, will cast life 3 instead of life 1.5, essentially. And we only start with 3 Phoenix Downs. So I'm expecting to see a lot of over-leveling with Cyan's Katana just to make sure that your party doesn't die. Esper spells and bonuses are original. Bosses are also original with no ability scaling. That means they'll be doing their vanilla boss scripts without any adjustments to their spells, and similar to this flag set, no free characters and progressions. So that's a crazy flag set for next week, and I'm all on board for that one, Saber Wolf.
And while you were explaining that, heavy carry by Strago with a level 4 flare doing 2,000 damage a pop to Goddess there definitely carried that fight for Boo.
Yeah, so sometimes the numbers are forever in your favor.
Strago also has Pearl Wind, by the way, so there is a healing spell for the team as well.
Very nice. And that's another Imp sprite there. As Boo picked up his 3rd piece of Magicite, Zen0bian picked up his 2nd, and there's another piece of Burnt Protection in that treasure chest with a red jacket.
And a Rage Ring.
And another piece with a Rage Ring. So,
yeah, that's all the pieces we need, really, yeah.
Thoughts on the flag set, Arista?
I think the Cyan's Sword flag set, that'll be very interesting. I'm not too familiar with permadeath myself, but it sounds like that'll be a very interesting flag set, and I think very appropriate for this deep in the tournament. Really test the runner's abilities.
Oh, I think it's a perfect theme. It's going to be for the semi-final. If you don't win, you go home, instant death. So, perfect theme for that particular round next week. But it's also interesting how we have back-to-back weeks. We had Strago into Realm into Strago, similar theme again. Yeti into Cyan, similar theme with another plus 30 strength, not plus 40 strength, but plus 30 strength. So again, very physical theme back-to-back weeks.
A Esper on the ground here, and it's another Ultros. So this will be Zen0bian's 3rd Esper, and Boo will get his 4th after this fight. Oh, I love it when Yeti jumps around across the screen there. That's pretty funny. So yeah, Double Down secret strat for permadeath is just don't die. So we'll see which one of our runners take that strat and go with it. I had originally, as that's Ragnarok the Esper there. Strength +1 and Life 2. So that's a spell you won't see next week.
The Genji Glove too.
Yeah, so with permadeath, it's very interesting because you only have 3 chances to bring party members back to life. So we'll probably see more resets than usual, and we will see a lot runners taking a lot more precautions than they're used to.
Yeah, that race is going to be a little bit longer than usual, I would think.
Yeah, so huge shout out to Double Down. He's still in the chat for coming up and crafting some of these flag sets here, and that's Dragoon boots in the shop to go along with that Horrorland
for Boo.
Ugh.
I wouldn't do Exploder. That's probably not a good skill to use.
No, definitely not. I actually thought 5 Phoenix Downs would be good for... I thought that was a good sweet spot, but I was talked down into 3. So, people who are running the flag set next week, you can thank me. Don't thank Double Down.
He's telling Judge that blame swans for people having to have starting with Phoenix Downs.
Yep.
Yeah, Golem Fenrir spam. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah, and like I said, the Phoenix summon is life 3 instead of life 1.5, so I would use that every single turn.
Every single fight. Open cast Phoenix every single fight.
Alright, so we're in Ebbett's Rock here for Zen0bian. And he's going to run around and collect 22, and no less, pieces of coral from some of the treasure chests and feed it to the other treasure chest. It's sort of like a... it's an RNG dungeon. And even though we are playing a randomizer, we don't like a lot of RNG. Speaking of RNG, Shadow getting knocked down to a level question Pearl. That is random spice. I've played a few permadeath seeds in the living seed, or because the living seed is a type of race that happens once a week in our Discord, FF6WC, and what you can do is change a flag on or off. So I played a few permadeath seeds, and like I said, my strategy usually on permadeath seeds is to level a little bit more than you're used to. Get a little bit stronger, or a lot of it, depending upon your comfortability level. Get stronger than you normally would before you start taking boss fights.
Another Kefka creation with number 24. On the Zen0bian side. A couple of questions. I know this gets brought up a lot for permadeath. Number one is, like, does zombie count, and does being stoned count?
Well, you have items that can clear out the zombie or stone status, right? It's not the same as being wounded. Wound is different than zombie or stone.
Okay.
Oh, Cyan with 1 HP getting thrown into number 24 for the victory. Very nice.
Terra actually smacked him down to 1 HP before Yeti threw him.
Yeah, because the only dangerous thing from number 24 is if he uses his overflow ability, that will confuse one of your characters. And Cyan was confused, and he's got the stunner, so you don't want to stop your characters. And hey, there's the Phoenix Esper for Zen0bian. Very nice.
Yeah, meanwhile, Boo barely surviving that Bolt 3 on the party, but working through.
Ugly spells on that Phoenix, unfortunately.
Well, it's a decent enough summon to get you out of trouble sometimes. Alright, so Boo's got Zone Seek the Esper, and the throne will either be an Esper or an item. We've only learned 3 sword techs, but since we don't have a sword tech user, that means they will start with 3 sword techs learned, unless their levels are higher than 3. Oh, calmness protection, very nice.
Yeah, another big thing for this week. It will be for next week, learning all 8. That'd be nice to have, especially when you start with it. But Zen0bian heading to the floating continent when the shadows checks. There's going to be 4 bosses here. Oh, we have been checking bosses. Now, there is a shortcut for Kefka's Tower. It's the number of bosses you fight. You have to fight at least 12 bosses for the shortcut. Have we keep a track of how many bosses we've gotten, though?
I will look up their stream VODs. So I will do that while you two.
Zen0bian doesn't have one, I will say.
Yeah, but at least I can count. Oh no, he doesn't have a tracker at all.
No.
Well,
he didn't post his video. He sent it to me directly. So.
Yeah, he sent it to me too. I'm wondering.
Oh, he sent it to you? Okay, cool.
Okay, so yeah, you guys talk while I figure that out.
All right. Well, we got another Wubby fight here coming up with Boo. Tyra's talking to the doggy, and Zen0bian's waiting patiently for the floating continent first boss fight here. 4 boss fights. That's why we brought it up here for Zen0bian coming up. Rooster, you finding anything different that we've missed?
No. I mean, I think right now Zen0bian doing the floating continent checks an interesting choice, but I kind of like it because there's the 4 boss checks, which really gets you some good progress towards that skip. Only being at 5 characters means even if one of these is a character, you're still in good shape. You're not too likely to go, 2 characters and only 1 Esper. So it's a good time to do it if you're going to do a multi-part check like this.
All right, so Zen0bian is at 5, and Boo is also at 5.
Okay.
Yeah, and all these regular battles, as Kirksey points out very, very nicely in chat, all these regular battles are also going to help kick up Zen0bian's levels, which really help when he's focusing so much on physical damage.
Well, the magic number, if they're both at 5, the magic number is 9. So you can do the cut right through the middle of Kefka's Tower. So this check for Zen0bian will put him at that magic number 9 to do the full stack center run through of Kefka's Tower, which gets you to 12. And then you come back into Kefka's Tower, do a 2-party split of 2 and 2 to get the final bosses in the... Well, okay, I wasn't losing my mind. That was the Ultras 2, which has no music.
Correct, yeah.
I'm like, where'd my audio go? Sorry, I'm doing the restreaming too, guys. Sorry, I'm multitasking. My brain just went,
Yeah. Yeah, so you could certainly do that. 9 is certainly the benchmark to get to before going into Kefka's Tower, at least the first time. You can clear out the middle path and then send 2 and 2 up the sides. Or you can get to all 12 before you go into the tower and just skip all the walking altogether. So...
who cares about walking?
Yeah, which will be really interesting, I think, in a seed like this, especially on Zen0bian's side with Auto Berserk, is if you decide to do like 3 pass, one of those passes is probably going to be someone who's fully berserked, and do you trust that?
Boss number 1 for Zen0bian was Tunnel Armor, because he's already dead.
Very nice.
Second easiest boss of the game.
Fantastodon points out in the chat, with the no free checks flag set on, that probably means we're going to see more bosses, right? Because you can't get progression out of non-free checks. And...
well, definitely fun as you as Narapa is dropping down with our heroes. I've already did Narapa.
See you later.
Yeah.
Narapa isn't a boss. He's just a time waste. I will stand by that.
That's true. And there's an Esper laying on the ground for Zen0bian, Esper number 5.
Oh, so it looks like Boo is heading up to the floating continent here. I guess his other options are just terrible checks, right? Zozo Tower, Fanatics, Ebbets Rock, Burning House, and...
Lette River. We don't talk about Lette River.
No. Yeah, and I'm just going to note something here. There's 3 checks up here. Boo is exactly 1 character and 3 Espers, but he does know where 1 Esper is in Zen, did not buy it. So if this happens to be 1 character and 2 Espers exactly, Boo would come out of this in very, very good shape.
Also, Zen0bian levels there, as you just saw equipping the ammo weapon, is hitting to the level 30 as he finds another Minerva.
Wow.
So definitely got good protection on our party now.
Yeah, it's too bad he did not go and get the Siren Esper from Kefka at Narsh that has Merton on it. Meanwhile, Boo will probably find that Minerva. I just don't know if he's got enough protection. There's Rage Ring and the 1 Minerva, but Zen0bian got another Minerva off of the Dragon and the Ice Shield at the top of Fanatics. So we'll see if that is in Boo's plan. All right, well, the floating continent is one of Shadow's checks. It's a 3-part check. The first part is 3 encounters and 2 bosses. The second part is 1 boss, and it can only be Esper or item. Whoop, that's not the right way. And the last part of the check is 2 forced encounters and a boss, and that also can only be character or Esper. Same with the first part. So Floating Continent has 2 pieces of guaranteed progression. In a no free progression flag set, it's, I think, less discouraged because you know you're going to find your progression at, you know, the non-free checks. But it's still a good way, as you guys mentioned earlier, to knock out 4 bosses with 3 checks.
Hi, dog.
Alright, so we'll see what the second boss, well, third boss, actually, technically, of the Floating Continent is here at the second check.
Kefka! That means Zen0bian wins, right?
This is unfortunately the Kefka at Narsh version of Kefka.
Yeah.
Not the one we're looking for. Your Kefka is in another castle, literally.
Well, Shadow and Cyan both with the ammo weapon equips, which is pretty amazing nice to have both of them be able to equip that item. Definitely dropping down 2,000 damage on a swing, so they're definitely online with that. There's a Magicite Unicorn.
Very nice. Yeah, they're not quite at level 32 yet.
Cure 2 with float. A couple Cure 2s, so.
Yeah, so Atma weapon, you divide a thing by 32.
You said you weren't going to do any more math,
damage
bro.
Formula. Okay, so yeah, level 32. Atma weapon. Memorize that. Good luck.
Level 32. Got it.
Yep.
All you need to know is just gain levels in it, and it's cool.
Yeah, so we got interesting like deviations in strategy here with Zen0bian going almost all berserk and Boo avoiding Coliseum altogether. Now, remember, there weren't very good items in the Coliseum. I wonder if that sort of changed the trajectory, maybe for Boo, perhaps. Since Boo is in the chat, we could certainly ask him.
Well, it's from looking at what we're seeing here on the spells we're getting and stuff, it doesn't really lend itself to help any, because we're still just melee swinging here, because all we have is Bolt 2. I mean, you're essentially just using the... You would essentially be using Peace Rings just to cast Bolt 2 at this point. So, getting the Rage would actually be better off in this sense, because you're just doing more damage, which we're seeing with Zen0bian clearly.
Yeah, but at the same time, you know, this might work for now, but what happens in Final Kefka battle, right? Is that when you throw on all your Peace Rings, etc., etc.?
True that.
Yeah, not a lot of great spells. Magre with the raid. Thank you, Magre.
Woo!
Ooh.
Oh, a spicy chicken at the end of the top continent. There you go.
We know what time it is, boys and girls.
Getting spicy.
Of all ages. Let's get some emotes. Flame on. All right, so Boo's gonna pick up his 7th Esper.
But the heck with that, we have we're swinging with stunners, so that's a stop spicy chicken.
Oh, beautiful. Who's got the stunner?
I'm not sure, but I did see
Stone
stop
Cold.
go off.
Don't you dare say Stone Cold.
I think it was Terra.
So might have thrown it on Terra. So that's a nice heads up play there. Yeah, nice heads up play there from Zen0bian, knowing that weapon will proc stop, and that spicy chicken is susceptible to it, and that is spicy chicken. Na 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 na. Hey hey hey. Goodbye.
Yeah, he's getting shipped off to KFC.
And that'll be Zen0bian's 7 Esper. Oh no, we don't know.
Oh, we don't know yet. We don't know yet. Nope. Character number 6.
Never mind. So that is character number 6. And Arusta, what you were talking about earlier, 1 character, 2 Espers.
Oh, but he didn't take him. Oh, this is going to be big for Boo. Boo will definitely pick this character up. It is a Moogle with Magitech.
Yeah, that's tough because Magitech will allow you to use instant death at least for tiers 1 and 2. So
yeah, I would definitely throw the Moogle in. I mean,
Listen, Zen0bian is playing with Yeti, right? We're messing with Squatch.
He's full Yeti strats except for Terra. And is going up to Zozo World of Balance. This is the remove check.
Yeah, I think if I was Zen0bian, I would take the Magitech Mog here. What do you think, Garusa?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's got plenty of peace rings. I think the Magitech Mog would be very nice. The Zen0bian also has a magic power +2 Esper. So if you really want to crank it up, you could, I mean, still probably got another at least 5-10 levels you'll get just naturally.
And
so
we have hero rings, so we do have the magic boosting hero ring too.
Yeah, and I believe Zen0bian has bought an earring along with the hero ring, so he had all the boosts.
Yeah, I guess it depends on utility, right? If we already have access to a Doom spell, then we don't really need the Magitech as
Yeah,
much.
but the Magitech Rocket does so much damage, though.
It's hiding in the Hide Knights here.
Ooh, yeah, you don't want to see this in this sort of format, unfortunately. Because with the Rage effect, you can't target the one you really want to hit. So having 5 different targets, the AI has a very difficult time targeting the boss.
Yeah, and when all those Hide Knights get cleared out, then Haydn will do his quote-unquote ultimate ability. It's usually Grand Train, but it's whatever it's scaled to here. And since we're at a pretty high level, right, I think we're in the 30s now, Zen0bian is going to get that Grand Train.
Oh, yeah, that's very true. And we do have a lore using Strago, which Boo does have in the party, so if he does go up there, potentially he could get it. And also on the side note, going back to your landslide rage strat, Terra's actually doing about 5k damage with it right now.
Very nice. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to lean into being berserked even a little bit, that's the kind of berserk you want, right? So Haydn gets finished off because it's weak to Pearl, so we have that spell, at least. It's sort of like a tier 2.5-ish type spell in terms of battle power, but animation is just super duper long. That's what's kind of off-putting about that spell.
Yep. Going for the bonus chest, there's earrings that we were just talking about, free earrings, so it almost tells you to go to Mog. And that is a lock sitting in the chair with throw.
Oh, wow. Lock with throw. That's another one where, you hesitate a little bit. And you're like, do I put this person in my party? Because with the plus 40 vigor, throwing shurikens is going to be pretty sick.
And Boo did not go to Coliseum, which means he does not have the Berserk status, which also means he doesn't have to add the extra peace ring or ribbon to counteract those effects. He could just double earring or double whatever on Mog and on Lock. But again, we're speculating on what his next strategy, where he's going to go next.
Yeah,
he might not get these characters.
I would have to imagine that you sub out Strago for Mog here if you're Boo.
Oh, though, wait, did he buy the Esper, though, in Tizen?
Not yet,
I don't believe he did, because it was like 65, practically max cost.
Well, he could get the Mog here. That'd be 6. He can go the Esper 9. He's already unlocked Kefka. He could unlock Kefka in the next minute or two.
Yeah, so after this, it depends. Does Boo want to take the Thief? Just for reference, he is now at 9 Espers. He will be at 10, not 9 Espers. He's at 9 bosses. He will be at 10 after this fight here.
Speaking of Grand Train, Atma Weapon just cast Grand Train, so Zen0bian's Strago now knows Grand Train.
Yeah, it's too bad we don't have Strago in our party, so...
Nope.
But at least he'll be able to do something. And Cyan has some sort of relic on that prevents Blaster from hitting? I've never seen Blaster miss like that unless it's,
Memento Ring will do it.
Yeah.
I don't think he has it equipped, but that would do it, though.
And Boo in chat says, guess who has the stunner? Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the answer to our question before is Boo chickened out because he tried it with some other weapons in practice runs and it did not go well for him. So that's understandable.
That's 3 Espers with the Cure 2, by the way. Zen0bian going to T-Zen to go by the Esper, it looks like.
Well, here's the thing, though. When you have somebody stopped and Blaster, that's the only thing that they will do on Poltergeist's actual turn. Yeah, he'll counterattack, but on his normal turn, he just is like, let me try and Blaster this person, and it won't work. So,
yeah, it's not a bad thing.
Safety bit. Yeah, I usually just sell safety bits, but this is giving me a reason to keep it on. Alright, so Zen0bian looks like he's gearing up to buy himself the Zen Thief Esper, and he'll be 1 away from go mode.
Remember, kids, safety first. Trato is the Esper from T-Zen Thief.
Oh, another magic power plus Esper.
+2 with Cure 3, even.
Yeah, fight taking a lot longer here for Boo. Definitely because he didn't get to stop Poltergeist. Alright, so it looks like Zen0bian loaded up on some mithril knives for Locke to throw.
Interesting. Throwing knives, throwing shuriken, I mean, kind of the same thing. But mithril knives do not do as much damage as the shurikens. Shurikens do get a discount on cost, as Boo does pick up the Moogle for character number 6. We'll see if he goes to T-Zen Thief here to unlock Kefka. It does see the Magitech is going to add him to the party. Yep. Swaps out the Naked Shadow.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not going with the Berserk strat and don't have your +30 strength, like, Magitech is just good enough. You want it at this point. Especially since from an elemental perspective, I don't think Boo has fire, like a fire 2 or anything, so you might even get some use out of Fire Beam if you really need it.
There's nobody going up the hill in Narsh. This is 2 bosses here. What are we doing on the boss count here?
So Zen0bian at this point has 11.
Oh, so he only really needs one of these.
Boo, meanwhile, has 10. So maybe Boo does a check where he could peek what the reward is at the boss. Oh, no, he's doing the 2-for-1 at Mobliz here.
Oh, 2-for-1 special?
Smart play. Very smart play from Boo.
And that's a peek, too.
Yeah, so hopefully this is an Esper for him, and he will get not only his go mode, he'll also get skip at the same exact time. We were talking about 50 Gs before. It is Dirt Durgan over here for Zen0bian.
Oof. Survived a Hone Tusk. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's the Dirt Dragon's counterattack for everything, pretty much, is Hone Tusk. And Cyan just scraping by there.
That's Zen0bian's 3rd dragon, by the way.
Yeah, so his enemies are going to be significantly tougher than Boo's, who has only fought 1 dragon and doesn't have that extra character. So that's something to keep an eye on as we're going through Kefka's Tower.
Yeah, but Zen0bian, I think, has about 8 levels on Boo.
Let's see what the little girl says.
It is an Esper. Wow.
Sorry, little kid. Your Mortal Kombat character's coming with us. Let's go.
Yeah, so this is going to be Shortcut Unlock and Kefka Unlock at the same time for Boo.
And Doggy Skip. Very nice.
You can get the Doggy Skip. Oh, I don't know. I think the Animal Humane Society will say something about that one.
There are no dogs harmed in the making of this game.
I do have a doggy on my desk. Here's the first boss, Poombubba. It's always going to be Poombubba in the first one. The only difficult thing about this check, though, however, is that the second fight you're going to have is only going to have 2 characters to fight with. It could be a little easier with Boo not being enraged and all, though.
Yeah. It looks like he is going to
Oh.
decide to kill off Strago, and Strago can't even kill himself. Come on, Grandpa, what are you doing?
Now, they get fully healed before the second fight, so he's trying to make it so Strago does not get blown off, so he wants to keep Strago in for the second fight.
No, well, no.
Right?
It's
Or
the
is he...
opposite. The opposite.
Oh, it's just the opposite, my bad.
Yeah, he doesn't want Strago in the second fight, so he kills Strago off.
Okay,
And
well, I guess
unfortunately for Zen0bian, that is one of the very few dead checks in the game. It is an experience egg, but he doesn't really need it at this point.
I'm
I'm kind of surprised. The experience egg is what it is, but I'm also kind of surprised to see Zen0bian going on here, because this is a check that you're able to peek back in World of Balance, and we know it's Go-Go.
Yeah, this is.
But it's not going to be the Esper that he needs here.
I was going to say, perhaps it's a play to get the monster in a box for an offering for his Atma weapon user, but he just blew right past that as well. So.
Well, here's the interesting thing. We had Yeti at the beginning, which means you could have had experience egg from the start.
That is true.
Imagine how many levels we would have with all those ammo weapons.
Jeez.
Yeah.
My least favorite boss in the game, Air Force.
And Guardian, too.
Yeah, Guardian's a bit of a bummer. So we've seen some pretty difficult bosses. We've seen Guardian, Inferno, Goddess, and Poltergeist. So that will hopefully bode well for our tower trip.
These hits, like 4,000, 5,000 damage is just amazing coming out of Zen0bian.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're killing things that fast, I guess it doesn't matter that you're getting an extra character you don't need, right?
And there's the Kefka unlock for Boo.
Cha-ching, cha-ching. Not only is that the Kefka Tower unlock, that is the KT skip as well.
Yep.
So Boo is going to have a lead going into Kefka's Tower. Not only does he use Go mode first, he also is going to have an easier time with the bosses because he has not increased the progression with 2 extra characters and 2 additional dragons.
But level 31 to 35, isn't that a little low, though?
Yeah, that is a little low, especially if you're going in at skip. If you were maybe clearing out the middle path and then, warping out, that would probably be fine, but yeah, let's see what Boo decides to do here. He might be giving up some of that time that he's gotten from getting Go mode first.
Character number 8 for Zen0bian with Go-Go. Knowing it was Go-Go, went for it anyways.
Yeah, and one thing to note, talking about the Go-Go, Zen0bian actually in chat, since this is a stream that they did this race acing previously, mentioned that just trying to hedge his bets on Zone Eater and Mobliz, so you've got both those checks right next to each other.
Yeah, and after Mobliz, you are forced to do a party reform, and that's when you could set your team down to 1, right? So it makes certainly more sense when you look at it from that lens, for sure. He's going to find out this is also his Mortal Kombat character, and he's going to be in Go mode very shortly as well.
Now, also to note that Go-Go's check, even though it is not a boss fight, you would think it would be a free check. It's actually not. Correct, because it's his only check.
Yeah, so there are certain characters in the game, Umaro, Go-Go, and for now, Mog, that only have 1 check associated with them. So that check cannot be considered a free progression type of check, right? Because if you, let's say, rolled the seed and you started with those 3 characters, you would need to have a way to go forward in the seed. All right, so Cyan and Umaro get blown away.
And there's the levels we were just talking about. Boo's going to take a dragon here.
Yeah, so Zen0bian's levels are at 40, whereas Boo's are at low 30. So that's where you see the difference in damage, for sure.
That's a vanilla Dargan, isn't it?
No, this is in the, whatchamacallit, the tower.
Oh, that's tower, my bad. Oh, Dirty Dirty's
who the hell is here? Oh, yeah, okay. I played so much of the randomizer, there's so much of the vanilla game I completely forget about.
It has tainted the vanilla.
Yeah. Wait, there's a scene where everybody chomps down on food? What is that all about?
Man, I wish we could get that dinner scene into play, but side-by-side takeouts of the Air Force and the Dragon, and that will be Zen0bian's unlock.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so with that unlock, and Zen0bian has skip as well, so this is going to be pretty much near simultaneous entrance to Kefka's tower, so it's going to be very close.
Yeah, Boo is still low on levels on some of his characters, right? Some of the ones that didn't make it in some of the other fights. And he's got a Strago that he's not really sure what to do with here, but, you know, it's sometimes better to just make a move than to just do nothing. So he's going to be using Mog, whereas Zen0bian is going to be hitting things very hard. So we'll see which strategy pays off for these runners here.
Well, Boo is going to split the party 1-1-2 here. While Zen0bian looks like they're going to do the same. They're also going to split the party on shortcuts. So simultaneous joining a shortcut, this is anybody's game.
Yeah, and you have to think with the level advantage, Zen0bian might be out in front. But like I said, he's got 2 more characters and 1 more dragon. So his enemies are actually going to be about 9 to 10 levels higher than Boo is.
And the Guardian spot for Boo, for these guys, are going to be the 3 Stooges. Not a very easy boss. Zen0bian is actually going to start with a statue first, and is going to get Rexel.
Oh, God. And both of his characters are berserked. Yikes.
Yeah, this is going to be a long fight for Zen0bian.
This is, well, I mean, 1337 damage right off the rip. Who knows? Maybe this is a meme fight. But this is why you don't want to have a berserk character against Rexel, because if you hit his zingers or his soul savers, then they just do an animation and they come back. And so far, both of our party members have not hit Rexel yet. This is awful. All right, we're 1 for 6. Meanwhile, Boo is just going to burn the world down with Merton. Yeah, if this were me, I don't know if I'd take a reset here. It depends on when the last time Zen0bian had saved, but I would have taken a reset for sure and said, you know what? Let's put a peace ring at least on lock so he could hit the right target, or reconfigure my party. Yeah, so Zen0bian says that he meant to use a peace ring on lock for throw and he forgot to. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And then Boo finally says, you know what, Larry? Get out of my dimension. And there it is. That's the first boss of the tower down for Boo. And Zen0bian is waiting for Umaro to kill this boss.
Yeah, with a 1 in 3 chance of hitting the boss. Not very good. But that's like that left side soul saver, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Middle statue would be, unfortunately, leader.
Yep, this is another one that's get out of my dimension. See you later, leader.
Oh, no, misses.
Or not. Second time, there we go.
Second time's a charm for Strago. 2 for 2.
All right, so
and he's like, what are you going to do with Strago? Oh, he's just going to X-zone everybody. That's what he's going to do.
All right, so that's 2 bosses down for Boo and 0 for Zen0bian so far in the boss gauntlet. So Boo with an advantage here.
Yep, 2 to nothing advantage here.
Yeah, I mean, Umaro is absorbing or zeroing out all the attacks.
Oh, God.
So Zen0bian's at no risk of actually losing this fight, but has not gotten any of the lucky hits.
I mean, this is not terrible for Boo. I mean, I needs the levels. I guess didn't equip a Moogle Charm, but hey, this is not a bad thing.
Yeah, he took it off, took 1 step, and this is what happens.
It's a good fight, though. I mean, Tura's got Merton. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Oh my God, Umaro, hit the right target, please.
You get better look at a casino
there
than
you go.
Umaro right now.
12,000 XP for those fights. For reference, a dragon gives you 18,000. So that's essentially like taking another dragon in the tower.
And having it not count against the pool,
really
too.
Nice.
Yeah, and Boo also explaining in chat that trying to learn Merton on Strago.
That makes much more sense.
That'll definitely make it usable. Level 42.
Yeah, usually you do take the Moogle Charm off when you are near the end, right? But I usually take it off at the save point. But yeah, totally makes sense if you're trying to learn some more magic. And Brontours are great because they give lots of MP towards learning some magic.
Also, note that the Strago is actually wearing relic beads. It's going to increase the evasion. We did not see Gollum or Fenrir. So that's a little bit... And we don't think we saw Life 3 either. So,
Fenrir, I think, was on the Dome of Thrones.
Oh, there he is. Never mind. I missed my Wolfie. Yeah. Where was that?
Yeah, it was.
Who has Fenrir, but Zen0bian does not.
Oh,
yeah, that was Dome of Dream.
No, I must have been dreaming and missed it.
Finally, Rexall is down for Zen0bian. Boo heading up to his third boss, and hey, it's another Ultros.
Ultros 4, which does not give experience, unfortunately, but
no.
Moogle has a rocket launcher.
Yeah, this fight is going to take a little bit because Yeti is going to smash one of the 2 random targets. And Mog's not putting out a lot of damage there. Alright, so Zen0bian is on to the Stooges fight here. Cannot use Merton in this fight because the top Stooge will absorb it, and so will Larry because Larry absorbs wind. So Merton is not something you want to use in this fight.
I can't imagine what's going through Zen0bian's head right now. Like, he just spent forever on Rexall, and now his next boss he had to fight was the 3 Stooges.
Yeah, I mean, this is part of the risk that you take when you get the auto berserk, is that you can't tell your characters what to do, essentially. And yeah, it certainly helped out Zen0bian earlier in the seed when you were just fighting singular bosses, but now that you're having to divvy up your party and fight bosses with multiple parts on them, it certainly gets a lot worse for a berserk user.
That is 3 bosses to 2 now for Boo versus Zen0bian here. Boo will be on the hill in a little bit.
Yeah, so the only boss we haven't seen yet is the statue on the... Oh no, we did. We saw Rexall. Never mind.
So I was going to see this second boss be leader, and now Boo's boss, the final boss that we're going to see is going to be... Oh, that's Rexall we just saw before.
Yep. Yeah, so Boo's going to have a much easier time with this fight with his targetable attacks. But Zen0bian only has one more boss to go. And it's arguably one of the easier bosses, although, again, with somebody with Berserk, you got to make them target Chupan. Really a kind of a bad boss gauntlet here for this flag set, right? Having multiple bosses with many different parts on them.
Yeah, that was a much faster fight for Boo. Complete advantage Boo right now. In time for now.
Yep. So Zen0bian, I think, also must have forgot to put the peace ring on Mog here.
Yeah.
Or maybe they didn't and I just didn't see it. Or maybe they're like, screw it, we're just going to give him Aura Lance and he's going to go.
Yeah, maybe. But I will say that Zen0bian does have the damage advantage, but Boo has the time advantage.
Well, at least Mog uses the correct beam on Ultros.
7,000 damage a swing coming from Shadow right now.
Yeah, it looks like he has the Marvel shoes that I was hating on earlier, so what do I know? That's why I'm here in the booth and not actually racing, right? 1333.
Yep. By the way, he's only taking like 200 damage on these hits, and he's healing for like 200 damage, so really he's nullifying the damage he's actually taking. To keep up the Atma weapon's max strength on the swings here.
Yeah, so Zen0bian takes out his fight, and I think he'll probably be about a minute or so behind, all things considered. So here we go, folks. It's going to come down to execution, and definitely, in Zen0bian's case, a little RNG.
And since you both are in chat, if you're welcome to jump in our booth here at the end of this race for if you want to chit chat, you're more than welcome to.
This is a live race. Come on,
Saberwolf. Huh?
This is a live race. Stop breaking my immersion, damn it.
I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, so it's about a minute difference right now between Zen0bian and Boo. And we'll see if Zen0bian's sheer brute force firepower can outlast Boo's tactical surgical strikes. Yeah, so Zen0bian, for reference, defeated, I think that's 19 bosses total, whereas Boo only defeated 16. So that's probably why his levels got so high.
Yeah, he did a lot more checks, though, because he has two more characters, an extra dragon.
One more dragon, yeah.
Okay, the official difference on the time is going to be 1:15:15. So it's 55 seconds. It's a 55-second lead for Boo.
All right. Tier 1, the head is weak to fire. The long arm is weak to wind. So Merton is pretty good in this case. But we don't want to have the head left waiting. And Zen0bian smartly casts float just in case he gets a Quake death counter. Very nice. Reverse polarity, not so nice when you can't move your characters back up to the front row.
Yeah, so his damage output's going to be slightly lowered now, but does get a little more defensive reward. Now, Terra's job here is going to be target casting and targeting the specific pieces that you need to kill and to keep the other people healed.
All right, Boo with his non-berserk team is heading up to tier 2.
Call it 1:16:10 there.
So he does have access to Siren, so that is mute. He can mute magic, which Zen0bian does not have.
Zen0bian's Terra actually has Unicorn, by the way, so he'll be able to remove the blindness from the rest of the party.
Okay. We do have also some other Espers to summon for instant death. There's Odin. And never mind, I forgot about Magitech Mog with Exfer.
Yep, Moogle with a path with a rocket launcher instantly kills tools there. There's that Quake coming out. Great call for the float there. So that's not going to do any damage to the party, and he's going to move on to tier 2.
Oh no, I think Boo misclicked. I think he just cast Fenrir by mistake.
Oh
this
no.
This is not a multi. Unlike last week with Realm's Brush, this is not a multi-summon thing. So Boo is going to be protected from 10 hits, but he just lost one of his edges in Calmness protection there.
And Boo says Boo misclicked in the third person.
Ooh, you hate to see it happen.
Boo actually increased his lead there by 5 seconds, so he has a 1-minute lead now.
Yep, and now Zen0bian has to waste a turn with the Imp sprite. Or maybe not, because the the Atma weapon doesn't care if you're imped or not. It'll still do damage based on the damage formula.
Yeah, 7,000 damage a pop versus Merton. Which is better, Merton or these Atma weapons? Is that the dizzy? Oh, that's interesting. So, is he still muddled?
No, he's not.
So you being thrown at a target from Yeti gets rid of muddle.
Yeah, listen.
No matter how many times I do this, I always learn something new from this game.
Yeah, that is incredible. Oh no, 2 out of 4 frozen for Zen0bian here. Essentially, what Yeti's throw does is it does a max damage attack from whoever Yeti is throwing. So it makes sense that if Yeti throws you, it's sort of like you're attacking with your character. I don't know how that works.
You're supposed to hit this guy.
Yep. All right, so Zen0bian getting lucky there with an atomic ray out from tools because he couldn't instant death tools. And that essentially makes it so that his party's unfrozen. However, Yeti is asleep on the job.
Terra wakes him up with a little whack to the back of the head.
And Magic, unfortunately, gets brought back to life there for Boo. Casted life 3 on himself.
Yeah, it's unfortunately the late silence there.
Doesn't come back with a lot of HP, but it's still just annoying to go through these death counters again.
Ooh, quarter on the almost the entire party there. That's gonna dip into the healing needs there for the next step.
Yeah, so the first turn of the next tier...
119.50.
The first turn of the next tier, Sleep will either open with Whirlwind or a Merton. And we're hoping for Whirlwind, because that definitely won't kill your party, whereas Merton... Oh, well, Boo's using Merton, so never mind. It doesn't matter what comes here. It's not going to hurt his party. It's all good. Alright, so Tier 3 is 2 parts. Girl will absorb all elements, so Merton's not going to work to kill her. And we want to get her down first, because she will both heal and revive the other part. Now, this is unfortunately where... This is where Zen0bian's party composition, as he's heading up to Tier 3, comes into better favor, because he has more characters with non-elemental physical damage.
Zen0bian picking up 20 seconds on K2. Now currently down by 39 seconds.
Alright, so it's still a close one. Looks like Terra's bringing out Meteor, because remember, that's a non-elemental spell, and that should be Girl dead right there. And he's got to recover both Strago and Terra here in his party. Meanwhile, Zen0bian, I'm pretty sure, just took care of Girl in like 2 swings. There's the second one.
Yep.
So you see the difference in damage here, which is allowing Zen0bian to catch up. I wonder what type of strat... He might be doing some quick strats here in order to plow through Calmness, perhaps? As Boo heals his party back up and is continuing to use Merton.
They're not doing that much damage, though.
Yeah, when you have to sacrifice one of your relic spots, you don't do as much damage, unfortunately. That Merton that didn't really do a lot of damage was actually cast from sleep.
Oh. Okay. No, this is how you cast Merton in their sleep.
Yeah, right? And then here comes Train. So this is going to hurt Boo's party a lot more than Zen0bian's party, because he's reliant on magic. And there is Yeti with the Calmness!
Oh, Yeti eats the Calmness. The mascot takes one for the team, and Zen0bian pulls into the lead. 122.05.
Alright, well, unfortunately, Yeti is down, but Zen0bian, with the sheer raw damage output, just surpassed Boo, and Cyan goes down there for Boo. Whew, this is close. Alright, so now we're on to Final Kefka, who's got 60,000 HP. Will cast Fallen One on his first turn if you do not do more than 30,000 damage. If he gets under 30,000 HP, we'll start countering with Havoc Wing and Hyperdrive. If he gets under 10,000 HP, may counter with Ultima, so be careful about that. However, there is some reprieve. When he charges up for his ultimate ability, Goner, that is when he will not counterattack. And we got 11,000 damage right off the bat here.
That was a 52-second pickup from Zen0bian in Tier 3.
Yeah, so Gogo comes in for Zen0bian, and Gogo has the Peace Ring on. And I believe that Gogo also has the Throw command. Meanwhile, it's...
Yes, it does.
Shadow, I think, was the bench player for Boo?
No, he still has all 4 of his guys.
No, Boo lost Cyan.
Cyan.
Shadow was brought in.
Okay.
Alright, so
What a horrible bring-in.
Alright, so here comes the Fallen One, and what Boo decides without a Mega Elixir is to use an Elixir on Strago and then use Whirlwind, which will heal your party for the HP that you have. So very nice play there by Boo. Zen0bian just waiting for his teammates to do damage here, making use of the menu to do a little weight tricking. Deciding to throw out a cure to make sure that his Terra stays alive, in case there's an ultimate that comes out.
Nice throw coming out of Gogo, considering he was on the back bench. But ooh, hits a big punch to the face.
Yeah, I'm
And
pretty
it's
sure
another
Gogo,
big punch.
I'm pretty sure Gogo has no armor. Oh no.
Ultima! Oh,
Oh,
goodness.
I think they have enough damage to tank it, but this is gonna hurt. And
Woo.
their attack is already
Not
queued
bad.
up with Atma weapon. All right,
That's
so this
quick.
is smart for Zen0bian. He casts Quick in order to leapfrog over Shadow's turn, and he might be getting the rest of his party up. Meanwhile, Boo, charging up for Goner, is doing all of the damage that he can with Merton. So this is basically a race against the clock here.
Yeah, there's only an ice
Zen0bian-
shield. That's all they have, but the gunner comes out.
Oh no.
They have good health, though. They'll survive it, though.
So Zen0bian used Quick to cure his party on the first turn. He's bringing Cyan back up on the second turn. This should hopefully
Second
do it for
Ultima!
Shadow. No, another Ultima. Oh no.
Survives again.
And here
Here's the
comes
charge
the charge up for Goner, but Terra is going to be doing the healing for Zen0bian. Boo heals with Pearlwind. That is a
That was
burn
it!
from Terra, but that's the crack pal for Zen0bian.
1:25:22 is the official time.
Oh my goodness. Holy cow.
Very close.
Yeah, so I think Boo was just 2 Mertens behind.
Yeah, the last swing from Cyan was only about 2,000 damage. That was the difference before the casting of Goner there.
Yeah, so when you eat an Ultima twice, that means that Kefka is under 10,000 HP 2 different times. And when Shadow hit him for, what, 7,400 or whatever, that must have meant that Kefka's HP was minuscule.
Like,
That's
under 1,000. It had to have been under 1,000.
insane. And there's the
That's
crack
crack
pal
pal.
for Boo.
1:26:10 is the official time for Boo.
Wow, so Boo went into the fight 50 seconds ahead and came out of the fight 50 seconds behind. So that's a minute 40 of a catch-up there from Zen0bian. So really nice job for Zeno to catch up and eventually take the lead and win this race. So make sure you give our runners a follow, Boo the runner and Zen0bian, and give us a follow here. Saberwolf, me, and Arusta, who was tracking. So thank you, Arusta, for your tracking help.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure. It was a great match. Great ending there.
Ooh, that was crazy.
What a match. The difference...
So what do we learn, ladies and gentlemen? That Auto Berserk is a good thing, apparently.
Auto Berserk with plus 40 strength versus Merton. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what you want to see in a race.
Well, here's the
It really
thing,
is.
right? The fight commands animations are so much shorter than that of a magic spell. So that's probably where a lot of the time clawing back came up, right? It was not only the power of the offensive attacks, the plus 30 strength bonus, but also the animation time to cast the spells. So something to consider for our other matchup, Taco Mage versus Drulith, Saturday at 8 p.m.
8 p.m., not 9 p.m. Sorry about that.
8 p.m. Eastern here on FF6 Worlds Collide's Twitch channel. So yeah, any other thoughts we got here in the booth? Arusta, what do you think?
I mean, this is a great seed, great ending, and the match on Saturday between Taco Mage and Drulith should be a very good match as well. They're both very good runners, and we've just seen the power of Auto Berserk. I know Drew has mentioned a couple times in chat that he does not seem like a huge fan of Auto Berserk, so we might see some differences there too.
A couple of other things, though, is Taco Mage was the next to last person in the winner's bracket, so they basically finished second on the winner's bracket side, and they're going to face Drulith. Now, Drulith is been breaking world records in this game like over the last couple of years. So this is two very, very good runners for Saturday.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a must-see match right here. And
Yeah,
not
and
shown on screen, by the way, is Falcon hit. Falcon is just waiting on in the Bahamas for the last 2 weeks. He got a 2-week bye being the winner of the winner's side bracket. He has to do nothing this week, does nothing next week, and he's just to sit back and relax and waits for these 4 guys to sort it out.
Yeah, so why don't we do a little look ahead to next week? We did make an announcement earlier in the stream about the flag set for next week. It is Cyan's Katana, and I know that Falcon Hit is going to be not happy that he doesn't get to do this flag set for the finals. When we asked him at the end of his match, this is the one that he really wanted to do, but let's do a quick rundown of it. Basically, it's very similar to Umaro's flag set in terms of both the stats that you're awarded at the beginning of the game in the Coliseum, plus 30 strength for those 2 things, plus 5 stamina, minus 5 magic power, so we're going to be relying on physical attacks. We do have access to Cyan with his vanilla sword tech, and if you do the Dome of Dream Awaken, you get all 8 sword techs. No tools. The big catch here is this line. It's only 1 word, but it will send shivers down your spine. I think that was a poem. Yes, let's call it a poem. It is permadeath.
Permadeath.
So what that essentially means is that Phoenix Downs will not be in shops. They won't be in chests. You will not get access to the Life or Life 2 spell. And the Phoenix Esper summon will be Life 3 instead of Life like 1.5. The healing buckets will not heal your characters from death either. And you only start with 3 Phoenix Downs, so those are the only 3 that you get in the entire seed. So it's going to ratchet up the difficulty a bit here. You might see some resets if you don't want to use those Phoenix Downs. Or you might have to say, well, it's been nice knowing you, character. You're going on the bench forever now. Esper spells and bonuses are both original. Bosses are also original with no ability scaling, so they will use their vanilla scripts with their vanilla spells. So this will reward some vanilla game knowledge. And similar to Umaro, no free characters in Espers. So let's get our round table of thoughts here. Mine are that usually in permadeath seeds, I like to level more than I would in a normal seed, because more levels mean you're probably not going to die as often. What do you think of this?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think levels will be at a premium here because it gives you more health, and especially with all the stats being pretty strength focused, you know, as we talked about and we saw during this seed, levels are a huge determinant of strength and physical power too. So, you know, on both ends, you're looking and saying, hey, more levels might really help me out here.
Yeah, so Saberwolf, thoughts on Cyan's Katana flag set?
Yeah, the levels, as you said, was going to be very important. I do see some maybe dragon play coming into play here. You have an early dragon with Cyan at Mount Zozo that you can get in those very early levels. Also, learning 8 sword techs, Dream's going to be very important. Getting Cyan online with all of his sword techs immediately to start the game, that's really strong. I really think that everybody's going to do Dream. Everybody's going to do Mount Zozo. There's a lot of chests in there. There's a dragon in there. That's actually not considered a free check, I believe. So, yeah.
That is correct.
So, very strong on those 2 points, and you start with them. So, obviously, you're going to go there.
The other thing that original bosses throws a wrinkle in is we're definitely going to probably see a lot more World of Balance checks, because the bosses are much easier in the World of Balance than they are in the World of Ruin, right? Why give yourself a harder time on purpose? I'm going to do as many World of Balance checks as I possibly can, because the bosses, aside from maybe 1 or 2, are generally just much easier in the World of Balance than the World of Ruin. So that's another interesting thing to keep in mind here.
Yeah, absolutely. And along with that, since you know the bosses are original, you already know, what you're going to be dealing with in Kefka's tower. So you might be able to do some adjustments to make sure you've got the proper elements if you're deciding to use magic, elemental resistance, all that.
That's the thing. Yeah, the statues are going to be there waiting for you. You know that Guardians are going to be there waiting for you when you get to Kefka's tower. That's actually going to be very difficult to get through.
If anybody does Fanatic's Tower in this flag set, they automatically win. What do we think? I think that's got to be an auto win, right? Especially with -5 magic power and only original spells on Espers. That means we're not going to have access to a lot of good spells either.
Would you be able to have... Well, if it's original spells, you're going to have access to Ultima with Ragnarok?
No.
Okay. So Ragnarok's just going to be blank then?
Yep.
Oh, well, that's depressing.
Yeah. there's not a lot of. I mean, the Phoenix Esper is going to be extremely important to find in this flag set, because not only will it give you life 3, it also teaches fire 3 and fire 2, and teaches another really good spell that I would have to look up at the moment because I'm stalling. Anyway, but yeah, so that's going to be interesting for next week. So going back to the bracket here, Saberwolf, it is going to be Zen0bian versus the winner of our Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern matchup.
Yeah, not 9. That's 9 Central, by the way.
That's 9 p.m.
Oh, wait, no, that's
Bermuda
9.
time.
So that's 9. What would it be? 9
time.
Nova Scotia time? I don't know.
Nova Scotia, yeah.
Hey.
But
yeah, so will face Takamazer, Drulith, and of course, again, not shown on screen, Falcon Hit will be waiting in the wings for the winner of this bracket.
All right, so any other final thoughts on either the race or the flags for next week, Arista?
No, I mean, definitely follow the runners because this was a very good showcase. Both very good runners, both very experienced, and they both stream Worlds Collide quite a bit, so definitely follow them. Yeah,
so I will also give thanks to both Boo and Zen0bian for letting us rebroadcast their VOD in stream form like this. It's really fun to watch the race unfold in real time and interact with the chat. We are uploading all these races to YouTube, so if you're on YouTube, hi from the past. We do stream on Twitch our races. That's FF6 Worlds Collide over on Twitch. We're on Twitter at FF6_WC, and we're on Instagram at FF6WC. And we have a new website, FF6WorldsCollide.com is where you could roll your new seeds. Sabril, if you want to take us out of here.
Sure thing. Once again, Saturday, 8 p.m., you're going to see Yamaro's Club once again getting rocking. Of course, being Saturday stream, there's going to be a lot of musicality going along with some music references. So, obviously, be aware of that. Takamazer versus Drulith, then the winner again will face Zen0bian. And, tune in right here. Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide. Again, follow us on Twitter. Follow us on YouTube. We want to get YouTube up to 1,000 subs. We're currently at 853, I think, right now, is the tally.
Nice.
So we want to see that over 1,000 by the end of the year. That is a goal. We're going to turn it over to raid Rectulinish, one of our community members here. They're playing some Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide. Raid them, give us a love, and we will see you next time. Take care.
Word. Thank you again, Saberwolf and Arusta, for doing the broadcast. Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you, and have a good night, everyone.
All right.